Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and this is my double review of episodes 1 and 2 of the second season of IS, Infinite Stratos. Now, the second season marks the return of quite possibly the densest harem lead of all time, Ichika Orimura. I've been looking forward to the second season for at least a year, and I finally got it. So, in terms of enjoyment, this episode was pretty good. In terms of quality, it was just episodic stuff mostly. It did one of the chapters from Volume 4. The first season had an OVA, and that covered 2 chapters of Volume 4. But there are 2 more. This covered another one of them, and kind of skim through another with a little anime original stuff there, but it doesn't matter because it's still practically filler anyway. It's just filler that Izuru himself wrote and tried to pass off as a volume. But it's pretty much all there is to the episode. Mostly there was some important stuff in the first episode. But for the most part, it's Ichika going back and forth to each of the girls in his harem. Laura, Char, Cecilia, Rin, Hoki, and he's telling them about this. Well, Laura's the one that tells Ichika, then he goes and tells the rest of them about this event at this pool, like a festival or something at a pool, and he's inviting them all to it. But they're all obviously under the impression that he's inviting only them. Turns out that's not the case because he's an idiot. He's probably the densest harem lead of all time. But other than that, it focuses mainly on Char and Laura. First, they go to the mall to get clothes. They're treated like models and like royalty by all these girls. I really don't know why. Like this is something you would never ever see in the U.S. I'm assuming that this is just an anime thing and not really what happens in Japan because that would be really really weird. But I don't know why this is a cliche in anime, or maybe it's just IS. Who knows? But no, it's not because I remember seeing in other anime and manga random girls saying about other girls, "Oh my God, is that girl a model?" But that's pretty much what happens wherever they go. They go to the mall. They get treated like models. They go to a restaurant. This lady walks up to them and asks them to work at this butler and maid cafe. Char, of course, Char is the butler. They these like robber guys with guns come in, try to hold the place up while the police are on their tail. They try to take hostages. They get the police to get them an escape vehicle. Char and Laura take care of them, obviously, because they have military training. They're representative candidates for France and Germany. There's no way some normal guy is going to be able to stand up to them, even if he has a gun. But that's pretty much the majority of the episode. They have them experience crepes. Then there is this really adorable moment where Laura, where Laura and Char have these cat pajamas on, black cat and white cat. That was adorable. I'm not gonna lie. Laura is adorable. There's a reason why those two are my favorite of the girls in Ichika's harem. They're those two are the best, hands down. Then I'd have to go Hoki in third, Cecilia in fourth, and Rin in fifth because I just don't care for her at all. She's the type of girl who assaults first and asks questions later. I don't like that. I don't see why girls in harems think that they can assault the guy they like and for some reason still expect him to like them back. And I also don't like why Ichigo sits there and takes it, but whatever. All the girls assault him in some way, shape, or form, but Rin does it more. And she barely ever gets any development with him either, so that's another thing. Cecilia as well, she never gets development with Ichigo. It's always Char, Laura, or Hoki. But the actual parts of this episode that are relevant to the plot are there is this girl. She's called M. That's not her real name. It's just the first letter of her name. But I won't spoil her name for you. But I'll just keep calling her M for now. She breaks into this American base trying to steal an IS. She's part of this group called Phantom Task, and yeah, that's pretty much it. She's trying to steal an American IS. I believe it might be the one from the first season, the one that went berserk. I know in the light novels it wasn't unmanned. The pilot, the representative for the U.S. was actually inside of it, and it lost control. But in the anime it was unmanned. It might be that IS that she's stealing, or maybe she's already stolen that one, and that's the one she was using. And she was stealing the second one because America has two representatives, two ISs. I don't really remember, but the point is she's trying to steal an IS from the U.S. And she has a striking resemblance to Chifuyu. As a matter of fact, in the beginning of the episode, Ichika has a dream, and it's M herself with her IS activated, and she's trying to kill Ichika, but Ichika thinks it's Chifuyu. But obviously she's going to be important later on, along with Phantom Task in general. And the other important part of the episode is Tatenashi showing up at the end. Now, one of the reasons I look forward to the second season so much is because of Tatenashi and M. So I'm ecstatic to see them animated and to see them doing stuff. So, in terms of enjoyment, this is at least an 8 out of 10. But in terms of quality, it's only really a 7 out of 10. So that's the rating I'll give it. As for the second episode, we get to see a lot more Tatenashi in more ways than one. Pretty much it starts off with Ichika training against Rin. He's beating her pretty much. He's stronger than her, but he doesn't use his shield well. So before he can deliver the final blow, he runs out, and then from there on, he's just easy pickings for Rin. Then he's thinking about like why he lost and everything like that, thinking about what he has to do to fix the problem. And Tatenashi shows up, and Ichika has no clue who she is because she hasn't been officially introduced yet. But he ends up being late for class because of it. He tries to explain to Chifuyu that, this mystery girl held me up, that's why I'm late. But Chifuyu wasn't having any of it, and she called on Char purposely and had her activate her IS and start shooting at him, which would kill him. And every single time these girls assault Ichika, it's with their ISs, and that should kill him. He manages to dodge it, but if they were to actually hit him, he would die. So I'm not really sure why these girls are doing stuff that will legitimately kill the guy they like. I get that girls assaulting the guy they like is a thing in anime and manga, I get it, but trying to kill him, that's stuff that's reserved for and all the other yandere out there. But they should have brains and know that if they shoot a gun at him and try to shoot at him, he will die. Later on in the episode, Hoki does the same thing. She takes out her sword and tries to cut him. That's obviously not... I mean, luckily Tatenashi was there to knock it away. You can see it. It sticks in the ceiling. It's not a toy. But still, she decides to try and charge Ichika with it. And it's just like, yeah, come on, use common sense. but whatever. After that, there's an assembly, and Tatenashi's officially introduced as the student council president. And pretty much she talks about this festival that they're having, a school festival, and Ichika's the representative of his class ever since the first episode of the first season. And as such, it's his job to choose which thing his class is actually going to do. And since he's the only guy in the academy, all the girls want to do something involving him, like Twister and like some Pocky game, the King's game, like all this stuff. And Ichigo wasn't having any of it. He tries to get Yamada Sensei to help him out, and she's like, "Hey, I'd actually go for one of those." So luckily, he gets saved by Laura, who, after the last episode, decides to recommend a maid cafe since they can actually earn money to replenish their, I guess, each class has like an account or something, a budget, and they can actually get some money back from their sales, from all the money they'll spend setting it up and everything. And each just says, you know what, fine, it's a lot better than all this other stuff, so yeah, we'll go with that. And he ends up meeting Tatenashi again, actually. And Ichigo is not very pleased because he got in trouble with Jifuyu and shot at by Char because of her earlier. And pretty much, Tatenashi ends up telling him that she's going to train him. Like, everyone else is training him is going to stop training him. She's going to become his sole trainer. And Ichigo isn't exactly thrilled by the idea of being trained by her. So he accepts a challenge from her. If she wins, he'll do whatever she wants. If he wins, then he doesn't have to be trained by her, and she won't bother him anymore. And their match ends up being like a judo match, and Ichigo gets dominated, pretty much. There's this one scene at the end where Tatenashi is incredibly out of character, and does, you know, the typical, "Oh, Ichigo, you pervert" line, or whatever. It's not part of her. That's pretty out of character for her. I don't really, especially later on in the episode when she's like pretending to have the naked apron and everything. It's like it really didn't make any sense. But she punches him, he loses consciousness. Laura, he was supposed to be training with Laura at that time, so Laura's walking around trying to figure out where he is. She runs into Jifuyu and she tells her that she saw Ichigo in the nurse's office. So Laura goes in, sees that Ichigo is using Tatenashi as like a lap pillow, you know, another cliche. And she gets mad, so she charges Tatenashi. And Tatenashi proves why she's the student council president. With her fan alone, she stops Laura and puts her in her place. So that was very impressive, because as the only person who is eligible to be a student council president is the strongest person in the school. So whoever's strongest is automatically a student council president. So she's able to defeat Laura incredibly easily. She does the same thing to Hoki later on after the first training session. So it's pretty clear that Tatenashi is pretty OP in the IS first. But anyway, after Laura gets dealt with, they go to one of the stadium areas, and she has Ichigo observe Char and Cecilia do this shooting type formation with their ISs, and she has Ichigo try it out, and the point is because Ichigo has a gun now, not just a sword, so he can fight long distance as well, but he's not a good shooter, so he has to focus all of his, but he has high penetrative power with his shots. So she wants him to learn how to focus all of his power into one shot, one accurate shot, to make sure that that one shot counts, and that's all he needs. So it's pretty much like how the Byakushiki has the sword, and she can, both Chifuyu and Ichika, they use the same attacks pretty much. They have the move where they can pretty much one-shot anybody. And so pretty much Tatenashi's trying to get him to figure out a move like that, but with a gun instead. And it's not really working out too well for him. At the end of the day, when the training's finally done, Ichigo goes back to his room and finds Tatenashi there in a nude apron. For some reason, Ichigo doesn't do anything. He's embarrassed and he's not interested in girls at all for some reason. But it turns out it was just a joke by Tatenashi anyway, and she's just a tease. And she was just wearing her her swimsuit the whole time. That's when Hoki comes in, tries to kill Ichika for some reason. Clearly, she's been watching too much informative murder porn, like in South Park. But she tries to kill Ichika. Tatenashi stops her, puts her in her place. Then after that, we just go back to more training, pretty much. Then after that, it cuts to the end of the episode. Ichika's tired out. For some reason, Cecilia thinks that offering Ichika her room, making the offer to Ichika that he can stay in her room if it's too stressful to be in his. For some reason, she thought that saying that in front of all the other girls would go over well. It's incredibly obvious that they wouldn't stand for that. So I don't know why she didn't try and do that in private, but whatever. That's pretty much it for the episode. It ends. We don't get M in this episode or anyone else from Phantom Task, but even so, we got a lot of Tatenashi, again, in more ways than one. So I'll give this episode an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. So that's it for now. I'll be reviewing this weekly. The second season I'm predicting is going to be very good. I've read through Volume 8 of the light novels, and I read through the first 2 chapters of Volume 9. So I can say that, and there's always been enough material for a second season, even before Izuru started rewriting the series, or like restarting writing the series, because he was on a giant hiatus because he was changing publishers and going through all this stuff. But even before he started writing again, the first season covered 3.5 volumes, so this season could easily get enough material from the 5th, 6th, 7th, and even the 8th volumes. So, I mean, I've been waiting, like I said before, I've been waiting for this for a year. I know what's going to happen. There are a lot of things I'm looking forward to, especially one scene in particular involving M and Ichika on Ichika's birthday. I can't wait to see that. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. I'm going to be reviewing it weekly. And that's it. Like I said in my review for Naruto Shippuden, I'm going to be getting the Kill La Kill review up soon. Strike the Blood as well. After that, probably Kuroko double episode review and Freezing Vibration. I also said this in my review, but I have another exam on Tuesday, so I need to start studying for that. So I'm not going to get all of that out tomorrow, but I hope I might be able to get a couple videos out. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next time.